Before I do this box opening, I want to thank a friend of mine for get me to a Flyers game, and just want to show you my new hat that I got there. Isn't that badass? That's the nicest Flyers hat they've came out with yet. Look at that. Black and orange, you know, my favorite colors. And we had a really good time. However, you know, the way they build those arenas, I don't know what the hell they're thinking about. You gotta see the seats. I mean, this is everywhere. It ain't just Philly. You gotta see the seats. They're built like for like a 9-year-old teenager. You know, like they're like little boy seats, right? So here I am. I'm sitting in the seats. First thing we do is go get a piece of Lorenzo's pizza, which is about this big. It's one big piece of pizza, okay? Now, remember the seats. It's a piece of pizza that's about the size of 3 pieces of pizza in one. And they put it on 1, 2, 3 paper plates. You got to lay it across 3 paper plates. And it's thin pizza. It's like New York style, and it's the best. It's thin pizza. It's like New York style, so it's kind of floppy. So you have to eat that. And on the left side of me, there's a guy about 6'3", and then I got my friend on the other side of me. He's about 6 foot, all right. And then you got me. I'm like a meatball in the middle. And these seats look like little, looks like a little friggin' high chair for a kid. So that means you have to have extreme talent to be able to eat this piece of pizza without making a mess or being able to do it at all. So we look like 3 hard-boiled eggs in a fucking vice. Okay? Then the real tricky thing is, if you can do it, is reaching for your drink. If you can reach for your drink, you are the man. Because there's cup holders on the seats in front of you down below. So we're 3 hard-boiled eggs squished together in a vice, and I'm holding my 3-foot-long friggin' piece of pizza, trying to eat it without dropping it. And I'm just taking little bites at a time, because that's the way you got to do it. Then I have to reach for my Coke. Okay? Reaching for the Coke is the hardest part. It's way down under your friend's thigh, underneath your calf, and then you got to try to pull it out. And then it has the real squishy cup, so as you're pulling it out, you're squishing, you're getting soda all over the place, and you know, that's the way it is. And then they lose. But however, it was a great time. I had an awesome, awesome time at that game. That was the best seats I ever had in my life. Them seats were center ice right down there. It was friggin' awesome. So, thank you, buddy. That was awesome. Okay, I haven't done a box opening in a long time. It's been a long time since we did this. This is something pretty special to me. I've really changed my mind about a few things in the past that I thought about these kind of guns. Before I even open it, and don't speed up my video, wait. A lot of you guys are impatient. Like, hurry up, get on with it. Will you just wait? Before I bought this, I did a lot of research on it, and I've always heard out of these types of 1911s, this particular one are one of the most reliable ones. And I've heard it from masters of shooting, put it that way. I'm talking about people like, you know, Masada Ayub. I know I didn't say his name right. He specifically said that this particular 1911 is the only one he owns. Okay? I know that because a friend of mine took a class of his, and he said it at the class. And this guy wouldn't lie. He's a nice guy. He's a stand-up guy. Just not the kind of guy who would say that. Okay, so let's open it up. It is a Colt, as you can see. And the first thing I did was take these wraparound rubber grips off, because I don't like the way they look. They feel okay, but I don't like these on 1911s because I just don't like how I make them look. I know it's stupid, but that's just how I am. Here's my papers for it. And of course, the NRA. If you haven't joined the NRA, whether you like the NRA or not, you know, I don't like everything about the NRA. There's a lot of things that irritates me about them, but 80% of their stuff is, if it wasn't for them, we'd have some crazy gun laws, trust me. So, thank you for that. So here it is, a Colt Defender. A Colt Defender. I've been wanting a Colt Defender for so long, I can't even explain it. The reason why I was hesitant on always getting one is because these small 1911s seem to be very fussy with reliability. But when I did my research on the Defender, idiot, here he goes. This guy won't leave me alone. Joey Meatballs. Watch this. Yo, jerk off, I just told you I'm doing a video. Stop texting me. Get a life. Okay, send. There it is. Now he'll text me back. Anyway, here it is, the Colt Defender. Yes, you're looking at Wilson Combat Starburst grips, they're called. I call them clamshell because they look like a clamshell, but technically they're called Starburst grips, Starburst style. They're G10, they're very expensive, and yes, you know, they're like, oh, just because there's a Wilson Combat symbol on there doesn't mean they're any better quality. Wrong. It does mean they're better quality, because you know how I am with 1911 grips. I got a million pairs of them. These are the only grips that I've seen where the medallion is in there, but it goes through the grip and bends around the back. Okay, so that medallion will never come out of there. It's not glued in there, it's pressed in there. Thank you for that, because these grips were very expensive. I think they look fantastic on it. It's a lightweight frame, so it's an alloy frame. It's Cerakoted on the bottom. It is Cerakote. I like the black skeletonized trigger. It's got the Colt Defender there. I love that the gun has Colt written on it. It's badass. The horses, the roll marks with the horses are perfect. Sometimes you'll see like half a horse or the foot's missing, or because the crimp. I guess they only got one shot at doing it, and this is really stamped beautiful. You know, guns are like friggin' coins, you know what I mean? You gotta look at every little thing. The downside about it is it's really pretty, and I'm going to worry about scratching it, so if I do carry it, I'm definitely going to use an in-the-waistband holster, which I can't stand. I cannot stand. But I won't be carrying this all the time. So Ron even told me, he goes, you know you're not going to carry it because you hate in-the-waistband holsters. I didn't say I was going to carry it all the time, but when I do carry it, I want it in the waistband. I want it protected. Okay? I'm going to swing it this way. There's the ejection port side. Lowered and flared ejection port. You know, it's like a modern 1911. I like that there's a thumb safety only on one side. I like that the thumb safety is really small and close and it doesn't stick out, because when I'm holding the gun, I rest my thumb on the top of the thumb safety, and when it's too big of a thumb safety and it's recoiling, it starts irritating your thumb. This is very close. It's a GI thumb safety. It's very small. It's close to the frame. It's all rounded off. There's no sharp edges on it. So when you rest your thumb on this particular Defender, it doesn't hurt. It's very comfortable shooting in it. Okay, it's got nice regular white sights, white dot sights on there. I don't know. I guess they're Novaks. I don't know. Now here's the thing you didn't guess. Okay, let's safety check it. Wow, it feels nice when you pull it back. It just feels real slick. I love that feeling. Yeah, I just cleaned it. I put 200 rounds through it so far. I got Winchester White Box through it, and I got American Eagle through it, 100 and 100, and it ran flawless. I'll tell you, that Winchester White Box, dudes, that shit is unpredictable, man. You'll be shooting. Every once in a while, you see this big bang flash because it's they got too much powder in one casing. What the hell are they doing over there? I mean, it happened like out of 100 rounds, like 3 times. I seen certain rounds out of the Winchester White Box with a big flash and a little more recoil. So It's good ammo. Just watch out for that bulk style ammo. You know what I mean? So there it is with the slide pulled back. Looks beautiful. And no, you haven't guessed it, because it's a 9mm. And something I said I would never do in the past is buy a 1911 in 9mm. But as time goes on, things get better, and I work at a gun shop, and I know a lot of people with 1911s that are 9mm. The thing about the 1911 in 9mm, on the bigger sizes, it don't make sense to me unless you're going to target shoot. It don't make sense to me to have a full size, or even a commander size 1911 that's 9mm, and you're going to carry it because you have all that weight. It can handle the 45 well, but this size in a 9mm makes a lot of sense, because this size in a 45, especially if you have arthritis like me, this size in a 45 with a light frame is very, very jumpy. There's a lot of recoil. It's not really fun to shoot. You know, it kills my wrist. So when they made this size in a 9mm, I'm like, well, if I'm going to do a 1911 in that caliber, I'm going to do it in the size that makes sense to me, which is the smallest one, which is this. So after firing these, I've had Kimbers and all them in the past in 45, and then shooting this in a 9mm, it's like night and day. It's like you can be so much more accurate with it. There's half the recoil. You get another round in your magazine. I think it holds yeah, 8 plus 1, so you get 9 rounds of 9mm. So that's not bad. I mean, for a gun this size and this pretty and this style gun in 9mm makes a lot of sense to me, because it's small and it holds 9 rounds. A gun this size that holds 9 rounds of 9mm is very competitive to what else is out there in the other guns, in the modern guns. This is like the answer to the officer size 1911. It's running flawless. Not one jam, no hiccups, nothing. I didn't put any hollow points to it whatsoever yet, so I'll keep you updated on that. Maybe we'll do that on camera. We'll have a shooting video, and I'll put the hollow points in it for the first time, and you guys can check it out, and hopefully it runs good. Now with the 9mm, with it being a 9mm, since the barrel on the outside diameter of the barrel is still the same, makes it even more of a bull barrel, than it is with a 45. So that's more weight wrapped around that projectile coming out the muzzle, which will control it more, will help you shoot better. Once again, less muzzle flip, less recoil. Beautiful gun. I don't think it's weird having Wilson combat grips on a Colt. You know, I know maybe you guys might think that's weird. I don't think it's weird. It's a high quality gun with beautiful grips. I see Wilson combat grips on all kinds of guns. Look at the Beretta right there, the Beretta 92. They're with Wilson Combat doing it up and putting their grips on it. So you got Wilson Combat grips on a Beretta. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with this. So I just like these grips because I know they're not glued in there. They're pressed in there, and it's good. They'll last forever. Next thing I do with 1911s is, especially with these kind of grips, they're G10 material. They're not rubber, so there's no, when you tighten down the screw, there's no squish. Even with wood grips, when you tighten down the screw, at least you can crush the wood a hair, and that keeps the screw tight. It keeps it from getting loose. So when you're using aluminum grips or G10 grips on the 1911, you want to try to use blue. I'm saying it, blue, not red. Drop a blue Loctite on the threads, tighten it down, let it sit overnight, and it should not get loose. If it gets loose again, then the best thing to do is to get the little rubber O-rings, and that will take care of the problem. It's the only thing with 1911s. When you shoot them, when you go like this, you can feel the grips getting loose, and you're constantly having to tighten these screws up. So the blue Loctite should do the trick. If it does not, then you just get the little rubber O-rings, which you can get probably at Home Depot, and that will cure the problem. Okay. So I got 3 mags, but you get 2 mags with it. This gun's about, in the gun store, about $9.25. And like I said, every Colt 1911 that I had, I never had a problem with it. So I have a lot of confidence in Colt's 1911s. Even my Colt AR, I love that. I love that AR. It runs great. It's not like I'm hammering it all the time and shooting millions of rounds to it, but it just runs so nice. It feels good when you shoot it. It's not something you got to explain. Only gun people understand it. It's the feeling when you're shooting it, when you're feeling it work. You can feel the quality in it. It's awesome. So you get 2 8-round mags plus 1 in the chamber. So they give you 2 mags with it. They're good mags. They're all stainless steel. They don't have the fold-over follower that I like, so they're not anti-tilt, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. They're running really good. You know, the gun likes the mags. I'm sure there's officer-size Wilson Combat mags you can get for this. Aftermarket mags. I'll probably get one of them just to have it and try it out. So we can always do that. But Colt's mags seem to be working all right. And that's it. That's all I can say about it. Gun runs great. It's got a nice trigger already. After 200 rounds, you can already feel the difference in the trigger. Because that's one thing about 1911s. You really don't need a trigger job. If you just put about 1,000 rounds through it, the trigger will do its own trigger job. But if you're impatient and you want it to work, you want it to feel like butter right away, you get yourself a trigger job. But I swear, after 200 rounds, I already feel, because when I first pulled the trigger and right through the drag, I feel just a little bit of grit. Now it's already silky smooth because the metal's rubbing inside every time you pull the trigger. Let it polish itself. It'll do its own. You know, unless you have a gun that has a really stiff trigger and you got to get a trigger job. The 1911 already has a great trigger. Let it naturally polish itself. I think that's the best way to go, and you'll save money. So that's what I think. I mean, that's how I see it. So I don't want this video to be too long. I hope you like the gun. We're definitely going to do shooting videos with it, and I'm excited to have an officer size back in my collection. Got a Don Hume holster. It should be here today if the mailman, if the mail goes the right way, who knows. So coming for it, and that's it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you.